Well, it is Monday. Mondays are busy. Mondays are always super busy, it seems. But if you looked at my older videos, actually, it was probably just last week, I was descaling a Bonavita coffee brewer. And the carafe sold for 22 or 23 bucks. This piece here just sold. This is the lid to the carafe. This sold for 23 bucks plus shipping for all this stuff. And the filter basket for the top of the carafe sold yesterday. No, that's sold today for 25 bucks. So 23, 23, 25 so far for the Bonavita $5 coffee maker. Not too bad. Also got some, these are heavy. these Wilcox, Paxstone Wilcox, these sheet metal bead roller. I bought a bunch of these things. I know there's one on the floor here I'm not going to pick up. That weighs like 50 pounds. There's a few over there. And the one I've got to grab, I'll fit it in an 14 by 6 box, most likely. And it's heavy. It's probably going to be a 30-pound box. And the same person bought another piece for one of those. So we've got some heavy stuff going out this morning. And I've got a lot of stuff to go through from the weekend over here on the table. So let's take a look at that quick. I won't go over all the comps for that stuff. I'm going to get this other stuff boxed up, get it out of here because Staples is a disaster past, 10 o'clock in the morning. So I like to get all my stuff out. But let's take a look at this table quick here, and then I'll come back and we'll actually go through some of the stuff that I found. Not too bad of a pile from the weekend here. And I'll go through this stuff later once I'm back from the Staples here in the post office. But box of Sega stuff, this for 20 bucks, 2 boxed games. And this was all found at the end of the day after, I don't know, like a solid 150-mile drive with, close to 30 sales. And it was not looking good throughout the day. And then the last stop it just paid off with a whole bunch of cool stuff. And then this is from an estate sale the next day, along with a Callaway Coca-Cola golf bag that's brand new. Still has the plastic here. This was what did I pay for this thing? This was 25, I think. Yeah, 25 bucks, brand new. That should do pretty good. And here is the Paxton Wilcox bead roller, and this went for. Hold on, let me check. Let me check the computer here and see what this sold for. So this sold for $139.99 plus shipping. Obviously, this thing's going to cost a good buck to ship. And the same buyer bought. So this would actually be attached to this. I take them apart. It's easier to ship. And the same buyer bought a second piece. So I have another head over here that's missing the base, and they paid 70 bucks for that. So 140 and then 70. And unfortunately, I might have to ship these in 2 separate boxes. If I can get them in one to save them some shipping, I'm going to do that. But yeah, it's a mess still because it's the middle of summer, the summer stock up, I call it. So I'm going to get this thing boxed up along with the rest of the stuff. And I have the wrong vehicle today for all of this. We're going to take the old Buick out, load it up with all the shipments, and then come back and we'll go through what we have here on the table. Back from the post office and dropping off all the UPS at Staples. So let's go over some of the stuff that was found over the weekend. Now, one of the things I picked up right away was this Bentley portable TV. It's not really worth that much. It was cheap at the sale. I think it was like $5. But I just think these are super cool. I love these old little TVs like this. And it's a neat little piece to display. Old school electronics are always something that I've been just drawn to forever. I'll get to this guy a little later because this was at the end of the day from the sale that had all this other cool stuff here. But off the top of my head, I don't remember the reference number for this. But it's a Seiko watch. It is quartz. It takes a battery, so it's not going to bring the money that an automatic would take. But this was only $1. So I'll always grab old school Seikos, especially if they're cheap. And if they're automatics, I'll pay up for them all day long. Where was this one from? I think this is the only thing I bought at this one house. And it's a remote shutter release for a Canon camera. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. RS60-E3. I'll throw up comps for all this stuff if I can find the comps. One of the things I couldn't find comps for just a minute ago, I was just looking at a few of these, was this piece here. This came from the same place as the Seiko, and they wanted $2 for it. There's no markings on it, and you can see the gold paint's kind of coming off over there. But I don't know. It looked interesting to me for a couple bucks. If anyone knows what this is, drop a comment down below and let me know if I struck gold or not. So it looks pretty cool. This I've got a good feeling about. If I don't destroy the box getting it out of here. A little cramped in here. So this is it's a Spalding basketball, NBA MVP Magic Johnson. And I've seen a few that say Magic Johnson on them, but I don't know if it says superstar. It says something different. It doesn't say NBA MVP. But look at this. You got Larry Bird up there. Magic Johnson, Scottie Pippen. It's a nice little piece for $2. But I'm not 100% sure what this is going to sell for. There were some similar ones that sold pretty good. I'm hoping for over $100. I could be wrong, but if I find something similar after this video here, before I post it, I'll throw up some other comps here. Because it's a really cool piece, and it's clear that someone just bought it to display and never used it, which is even better. But moving right along. I can't say no to battery chargers, especially for $6. This is a Montgomery Ward 6-amp charger. These older ones will, if they work, they'll always bring good money because they can pretty much bring batteries back from the dead. They don't have a lot of the safety features or like the smart features that these newer battery chargers will have. And a lot of times if you're building like an electrolysis tank for rust removal, the new ones aren't going to work, whereas these old school battery chargers, they will work for that. But that's a whole nother video in itself. So let's go through some of these games here quick. And they are filthy. But let's go to the first thing that caught my eye at the last sale on a Friday, and I was whooped. I'm just done for the day. Oh, there's a game in the back there, Super Mario Land. And I'm kind of bummed because I didn't really get that much stuff. And then I see this for $20. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And then underneath it, well, rubber banded to it, we have Zelda, Link's Awakening. It's in there. I think it's in there. Feels like it's in there. This is going to be difficult one-handed. I don't want to really wreck this box. All right, so it's in there. It seems to be complete. There's a bunch of paperwork in there. And Final Fantasy Legend 2. Box is a little crushed from being with the rubber band there. It also looks like it's in there. Yes, it is. So I'll throw up comps for both of these. This is Player's Choice. That's why it's got the silver and gold logo on the side. So it looks a little different from the older style Game Boy. That's really, really good find. Happy to have found that. And then the black Game Boy Pocket. A little gross there. I don't think that's corrosion. This is a weird. Let's pop this off quick. I've never seen this battery thing before. Okay, so that's good, not great. So good thing is there's no corrosion, but bad, there's no cover on the back for the battery. So I'll have to get a cover for that before I sell it. But that shouldn't be too bad. So let's get this out of the way. Same house they had a Nintendo Wii for $75, and I'm like, oh boy, this isn't good. But we found the $20 Game Boy. This is really crusty, but it was, what is this thing? It was $30. Gear Master by Bishu. I've never heard of this before. And I love Sega Genesis stuff. Is it even for Sega? I don't know. This is strange. I'll throw up a comp up here on the screen. But I've never seen that before. I've never used the Tyco power plug before either. But I can tell you, there's a Game Gear game in here too. What's this one? Batman Returns. That's an added bonus. I didn't know that was in there. But we've got, so there's a Sega 6 button, another Sega 6 button, and then I think the original old school Sega 6 button. Really, really disgusting. Gonna need some cleaning. But for the games, we've got X-Men and is this Altered Beast? It is Altered Beast. Boy, I remember this one. That one's in there. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. This one's... I hope this isn't valuable. Power Monger that was clearly eaten by something. Is it in there? It is in there. Boy, even the manual's a little gross from that. That's a little unfortunate. Hopefully it's not a super valuable game. NBA Action 94. Eternal Champions. I played a lot of this when this game came out. It's in there. Is it complete? Nice, it is complete. Mortal Kombat 2. Played a lot of that. Mortal Kombat 1. Played a lot of that. Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played this. This feels very light. I don't think the cartridge is going to be in there. But I'm willing to bet just the artwork for this case is going to be worth something. Let's see if I can get it open. But this one's tough to open up. Well, either way, there's definitely nothing in there, so this will be sold as just the case. Mortal Kombat 3. Boy, they got the trilogy here, 1, 2, and 3. Evander Holyfield boxing. Then we've got Game Genie stuff. So I didn't see a Game Genie for this anywhere, unless it's in... Oh, you know what? It's probably in the bag. So let's go... Let's get this out of the way. And then... Boy, they're good. This is pretty cool. A lot of cool stuff here. Let's get this out of the way, and we'll go take a look inside that bag. So here's the bag of games that she gave me as I was leaving, and they were included with the sale. I didn't realize that, so I'm glad she said, do you want these games? Like, absolutely I do. But it's got some Master System games in here, and unfortunately I don't have a console to test these. But we've got World Grand Prix, Lord of the Sword, Great Basketball, and then there's the Game Genie. The rest of the games look like they're sports related. World Series. Oh, what's this one? 6-pack. It's got a not for resale sticker on it. It's got 6 games. That's pretty cool. I might have to try that one out a little bit later, see what's on it. More sports, basketball. We got Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures. And I always thought these cartridges were interesting here. More, baseball, and then Dark Castle. Pretty scuffed up. That's going to take some cleaning. But I'm glad she flagged me down because, well, I would have forgotten all about these and left them behind. So hopefully a couple of these are worth the money. If not, we'll just add them to the pile of Sega games that I collect and wait till I find the box for them. But we'll get to this box in a minute because this came from the same sale as the video games. But Saturday, I went to an estate sale and I picked up this guy for $10. And what's crazy is even though it's opened, they only used one bag. So they started the car and then stopped. And, used, they still sell. But with all the bags opened all the bags sealed except for one, it's probably worth, I don't know, maybe $85 to $120 would be my guess. But I'm going to keep this because I love putting the cars together and just keeping them. I got a little display case upstairs with the Lego cars that I get. So I'm going to keep that one. But I also paid up for these a little bit. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm wondering if this was worth the money. So both of these were $50 a piece, and then they gave me a little deal. They gave me them for $40. But these are sealed, which is going to help. This box has a little bit of a crease in it. And it's got a dent up here in the corner. But this one's from the 2016 movie, Ghostbusters. And then this is also sealed, the 75-187. So I'm hoping this one's going to do pretty good. I didn't have service here either to comp these out. So they wanted $50. I paid them $40. I mean, I'll gladly pay up for sealed Legos, especially if it's something cool like this. So I'll throw comps up on the screen, and we'll hope that one is going to pay for the whole day. But let's go back over to the books. So you can see, it's upside down, but it says all for 10. And I don't really know anything about these books because, well, this was that garage sale with all the games. There's no service there, so they're all, well, I'd say 99% of them are Dragonlance, and there's probably a good 60 plus Dragonlance books in this box. So what I'll probably do is lot up all the Dragonlance stuff, sell it as a whole, and then take out the stuff that's not Dragonlance and sell that separately if it's worth selling. So all for $10. I figured I couldn't go wrong there. So I'll throw up some comps based on lots of Dragonlance books. So I'm sure there's, I mean, based on how many are in here, I'm sure people are selling these as a lot. So hopefully that's going to pay off. But last sale of the day, this was Saturday, and they wanted 25 bucks for it. It is a Callaway bag, but it's Coca-Cola, and it's brand new. It still has the plastic on the stands over here. Inside the bag, it's got a rain cover. It's got the little Coke bottle zippers. I think this is going to do pretty well. I haven't found this exact one. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 7-slot golf bag, or 7-way, whatever you want to call it. And I've seen some where there's a different pattern right here, and they all sold pretty well for $200 and up. And this being brand new, I might just list it at 300 bucks and just see where it goes from there. See if I get any offers. So not too bad today. We've got some good stuff to go through. I'm going to list the higher dollar items first. That's usually what I do to recoup whatever money I spent. And yeah, that's all I've got for today. That's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys all learned something, and I will see you in the next one.